Well, it says that I am live. I'm sitting here in up here in Zone 7B, and what I've noticed is by much cooler this evening. I got the fireplace going, and I took a trip out into the garden early part of the day, and so I was happy because uh, I had a date when the spinach was supposed to start, appearing from the soil, and it's a little early. So got there, and I'm growing this giant spinach, and it's really um, set up to or adaptable to cold temperatures, and that's what I was looking for. So you can grow this spinach in the early part of spring, all the way up until the point where it starts getting warm, and it doesn't bolt as fast as some of the spinach varieties do. I always liked spinach, but I wasn't really ever turned on about planting it because I just didn't care, take all of my effort and time. Hi, how you doing? uh, take all my time off growing spinach. It was very difficult, for me in the past. This spinach I put in the ground. I think I'm going to like it. Excuse me. A lot of us gardeners are turned on by any vegetable that's large for some reason. The fascination over growing large vegetables. And when I was looking around online, I saw this. Uh, oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, thank you. You like the music. Thank you. Me and my lady like to do that as well. Go out and oh, hello. um, but what happened was the the spinach was a large variety, and I said I gotta have it. So I was on eBay looking around, and and I said, okay, these seeds are kind of pricey. So why are these seeds so pricey? And I said because they grow in colder climates, and probably there's a big demand for them, or that that's just basically what they try to charge for the seeds, because the seeds are, in fact, well, most seeds are going up in price anyway, because anytime you can grow something and eat it later, somebody's got to charge you up front for that, the ability to eat something really fresh and something that's better for you. They want to get that money up front. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grow those seeds, and I'm going to, um, you know, save the seeds. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, if I decide to do that on a massive scale, of course, I got to make the seeds available, because that's something that I've always been interested in doing as well. Is making sure that you can spread these seeds around. And spinach has always been a very popular vegetable for a lot of people. Spinach, you can make drinks out of them. You could do salads, and just stay healthy. Um, Now the okra seeds, I bought a pack of okra seeds from rareseeds.com, and I'm not advertising for them. Believe me, I'm not. I just something I don't do. Um, but the rareseeds.com is a company, and I like what they sell. Some of the items I like, but for me, just for me, this is my own personal thing. The seeds are pricey. They are pricey. Do you get good quality seeds from them? Yes. Delivery shipping is pretty good. It's not super fast, but you get your seeds and not you get your seeds in a pretty good amount of time. Um, but I bought seeds from them. Was it 3, 4 years ago? They were okra. It was called spineless okra, and because my father and mother through the years when we were growing up, they ate okra. I wanted to be one of the kind of people that ate okra. So I always liked it when it's fried up right, or if it's put in a stew or gumbo, some people say. Um, I bought a pack of seeds, and they were growing and growing. I had them everywhere, and it was like you couldn't keep them picked. And I was just learning to grow them, and they were getting long, and they were 12 inches long, and I said, okay, this is learned a little more about them, and found out that when they get up that size, they get woody, and you really can't do much to them as far as eating them. Now, the very tip on them you could break off, and it tells you if they're at a good time where you want to pick them, but you don't want to let them get too big. Was my point. But the okra, I took the okra seeds, I kept the okra seeds. They were heirlooms, and each year I keep the okra seeds. Now, I found out there's a better way to germinate those seeds, which is you soak them. You can soak them up to 2 or 3 days. You can soak okra seeds, and when you feel that they're at the point where now it's time to put them in the ground, you can put the okra seeds in the ground, and that's part of your germination process is putting it in that water. Put it right in that water. You can use warm water. It really doesn't matter. Some people use warm water to speed up the process a little more. Um, but okra, just plant okra out and get it growing and make sure you pick it when it's anywhere from 3.5 to 4, maybe 5 inches long. And you just but okra is a funny plant. The hotter it gets, the more it likes it. Another thing about okra is a plant that it loves uh, basically heat, and the plant is so adapted to just survival. Um, but you want to grow it and allow for the plant to do what it does. You got to pick it early when them pods start appearing. I mean, you might even want to check them things daily because you could leave it on there and it could be 3 inches long when you went to sleep last night, and then you go to work and you get back up. That thing's 5.5 inches long, and you want to get them before they get you know, too tough to eat. Um, I do have some peppers that I brought in the house that I'm overwintering, and I'm having success with them. Um, uh, I can show them to you. Just one second. Okay, all right. Here we go. Now, let's see what we got here. I guess you can see that. Let me tell you what's going on here. The leaves are much bigger than this. Look at this little blossom. Can you see that? Okay, this little blossom here turned up, and I don't want that on there because it's trying to produce a pepper indoors. We can't have that. So you just simply just pinch that off because you don't want that up there. Now, um, the leaves, pair of scissors, they're cut back all the way back, and that's just a piece of the leaf left on there because it's just too much stress for the plant to try to keep up those leaves, and you're going to start noticing that the leaves immediately start drying out when you bring it indoors. Now, peppers don't like a lot of water, especially when you bring them indoors. So what you're going to do here is make certain that um, this plant here is watered, but it has great drainage because you want it to drain straight through and allow that water to run out of it. You don't want it to sit around the roots because the peppers don't like that. Now, if you ask me what kind of pepper this is, I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you because I got a bad habit of not labeling things, but I know that these are peppers because I had a tray of them I was putting in the yard, and when I got tired, I just left all four of them in. And this is actually three plants. I think you might be able to see that, three plants. And so all I do is separate them when it comes time and put them on the property. But as you can keep these year in and year out and year in, and they'll get big and woody around as a tree. Um, this one here, all the peppers that are kept here are probably Let's see, banana peppers. I know what I put in the ground. Banana peppers, bell peppers, and also jalapeno. Jalapeno is what I put in the ground. So these are cut the leaves back. And I was telling the gentleman at work, I said, listen, you got some peppers in the ground. I said, you can leave them out there and let the winter kill them. Oh, and when you bring them in, don't put them in direct sunlight. Put them like an off to the side where they get some light, but not direct sunlight because you don't really want them trying to produce anything. You just want them to kind of go dormant, and as long as you keep them above 10, 20 degrees, they should be fine. I think this is, yeah, okay. There we go. And these have been in the house for over a month now. So I just want to keep them because to put seeds in the ground, I don't mind growing my plants, but when you grow them in the summer or spring, excuse me, in the spring, I like to put them in. I did something really weird this year. Is I started mine the third month in, and I had to take care of these plants all the way up until spring, and then it was cold in um, April, and I had like, I don't know, I mean 50, 60 plants I had to take care of until I can get them outside. And that means hardening them off and all that good stuff. So, if I could save a step by saving some plants and then being able to introduce them back outside and they're already mature plants and they just start producing peppers, that is a great thing. Plus, I think that if you keep them in a house, it makes it kind of reminds you of gardening because it's a house plant now, but you take it outside later and it starts producing peppers. That's a wonderful thing. Um, so that's where I'm at right now. I'm actually still enjoying the gardening season, even though we're getting ready to get into the cold months here in Zone 7B. And I think that that's something that that I just enjoy. I just enjoy gardening. That's why I do this here. I do the morning garden show because I try to give as much information to people as possible. I don't know it all, but I know some things that I've learned over the last 18 years I've been gardening, and I've had much success. I've grown uh, plants. I've had plants come back on their own, and I've at one point I've grown so much that I was actually giving it away, and yeah, and people were happy for the food I was giving them because it was just I had this talent and I kept working with it and developing it, and then I looked at a ton of your videos. Oh, hmm. I don't know. I don't know honestly. I'm going to think on that. Um, but I will say that when it comes to gardening, it's relaxing. It improves your health. It gives you uh, a peace of mind if you want to use that term. Uh, it buying the oh and you just become more wealthy when you can wait when you can grow your own food. You become more wealthy because when you go into the grocery stores, you see what's there and you know what it should be and you know how it should taste and you have the ability to teach your children or your grandchildren, how to feed themselves. Because that's what happened with me. My father actually started me gardening. If you want to go back to when I was like 6 years old, he simply took some beans out of a bag and he said, "Here, put those in the ground." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Put them in the ground." And he said, "Cover them over and give them some water." And I said, "Okay." I did that. In about 4 or 5 days, they started growing, and my mind was blue. I could not believe what my dad introduced me to. My dad introduced me to that, and it was crazy. I mean, I couldn't believe that we had that. things grow from the ground like that. And then when it started producing beans, and then we ate the beans, I was blown away because he cooked them. And when dinner time, you know, came, and he simply said, "Son," he said, "How do you like the beans?" I said, "Oh my God, these beans I grew." And he said, "Yes, they are." I said, "Oh my God." I mean, it was so fascinating. So now I do it 24/7, 7 days a week. That's what I do. I wake up, I go to sleep, and all I think about is gardening, and that's it. Um, I went into the store a couple of weeks ago. I purchased some fertilizer because it was marked. It was marked down incredibly ridiculous. When you talk about these times of the month, I just bought it. You know, I just bought it because it was too good a deal to pass up. It was too good a deal. I'll tell you. Let's see. Yep. Mm. I'm just a person that loves to do things that are positive. And if I could teach children how to garden, if I could teach adults how to garden, I still have people at my job or the job where I work, and they are totally fascinated by their gardens. And I got some of them into it. And it was a lady, I think she was like in her 40s, and she just started gardening. Hello. All right. And I got her into gardening, and she is always coming up to me and saying, my kale is still growing, and I'm removing some of the leaves around the outer leaves, and now I'm eating them, and I'm making smoothies out of it. I'm so happy to hear her do that because when I first started talking to her, she was kind of apprehensive about it. Her husband was like, "Come on, it's a waste of time," and the kids were like, "Well, mom, whatever you want to do." They weren't really into it. So now mom is can't wait for spring and summer. Um, and now when I go to uh, the store to pick up my items, sometimes she'll say, "Hey, if you see, these seeds, here's $10. Could you pick up some seeds for me?" And I'll say okay and pick them up and bring them to it. I'm just glad to see that she's into it. It's just a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Um, Getting back to the question I was asked about the nematodes, I'm not by any way an expert on them. I'm not by any means. Um, the only thing that I've ever used to help me combat any problems that I have in the garden, and that is to make certain that my soil is properly balanced and doing what it should do. I'm just being honest about it. I don't use chemicals in my garden. I don't use anything that I can spray or anything that man made. I don't want man. Even that I've went as far as not using the water that comes out of my spigot to water my garden. I don't do that anymore. I used to do it years ago, and then the city here started going up on the sewage and water cost and everything. So once that took place, I said, okay, I know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to simply find a way to water my garden, either for less money or for free. And then I came up with the rain barrels, and that set me free. Now I believe in rain barrels. So I don't have a real big system. I have 100 gallons of water, and I have an on-demand pump, and I have 100 feet of hose, and I go out and water what I want. And I've tested it over the last 3 years I had the system installed. I have never run out of water. 100 gallons was enough for me. And then I said, if it wasn't, I know how to go get me two more 55-gallon drums, plastic, food grade, install them with a manifold system. I like that better because my system is completely closed. There's no mosquitoes anywhere because they can't get to the water. There is everything is tight and glued together. They can't get in any kind of way. I've seen some of the systems where they got a screen over the top, then they got water that runs down into the top of the drum, and then it's got an overflow pipe where overflows, and it's just crazy. But oh, let's see what we got here. Okay. Oh, you have four of them. Well, you are doing good. You are doing good. Four 55-gallon drums. That's a beautiful thing. That's beautiful. That's a lot of water. Now, only thing I did this year is I emptied them out earlier this year because I don't want to take any chance of nothing freezing up. And with the if you go look at some of my videos where you see my rain barrel system, um, the the system that I have, I can unplug it from the what they call it, the drain pipe from the gutter pipe. I can disconnect it, so it's not a big problem to disconnect, and that's what I like about it. I disconnect it, and the water runs through the normal path it would normally go. I do not want my PVC freezing up and cracking. So I emptied them out because I really don't need the water right now. This is a really moist time of the year where everything stays pretty moist. So, you know, I haven't needed it. Nothing's drying out right now. This is fall here in Zone 7B, and nothing's drying out. So that's where we are right now. And I just enjoy doing my thing with with the rain barrels. It was a big plus to my gardening. Um, Another big plus was getting free fertilizer, which was the leaves that I said this time of year. Once these leaves start dropping, collect them, add them to your compost pile if you want to leave them there and use them as you need, or you could just cover your whole ground and just leave them there and let them fertilize the ground itself. Um, you will see a transformation, if you will, once you add leaves to your garden. Tons of huge night crawlers will uh, inundate your property, so to speak. They will come from everywhere. I've had some of the biggest night crawlers. Uh, I love it because um, when you go into your compost pile and you stick a fork in there, you don't use a shovel because you'll be cutting these worms in half, and, but use a pitchfork and you'll dig out some of the biggest, prettiest night crawlers you ever want to see, and they won't even fit on your fish hooks. I've tried it. They won't fit um, on your fish hook unless you got a big fish hook. So, but I still use them because I don't go to Walmart buying worms, paying $3 for 12 worms, all that. That's crazy. I go right there to my garden, go in my compost pile, and there's some of the biggest and prettiest night crawlers you ever want to see. And be you might be tempted to take 5 or 6 dozen. Don't do that. Just leave them in there because when you start doing that number, you will disturb the balance, and you won't have as many night crawlers as you need throughout the fishing season. Ah, so that's what I do, and I enjoy a little fishing because you got your fresh salads, you got your fresh corn, you got your fish fried up, pretty nice pan fish, or your trout, or your your rockfish, and you're just enjoying yourself. Life is good, and that's what you want to do. Just eat the best foods, enjoy yourself, and and try not to eat too much of this man-made chemicals that they have. Try not to eat too much of that. That's not really good for you. I got five. I got 25 fruit trees on my property. They're dwarfs, but they're scaring the heck out of me because this year they got actually up to 20 feet tall. Two of the trees got 20 feet tall because we had a whole lot of rain this year, and I mean, my God, the plants they were taking off. They were acting like they were semi dwarfs, and so I cut them back down, got them back down to about 6 feet. And once the leaves drop, because I can't really see what I want to cut right now. Once the leaves drop, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna prune these trees up so that I can get all of the sunlight in I need and everything. And that's what you want to do with your trees. Get that sunlight in there. That's what's going to make your fruit sweet, grow healthy, and also they're going to make them, just a full of nutrients type of fruit. You know. So this is the morning garden. Thank you very much, everyone. And thank you very much for coming and stopping by and seeing me. I appreciate all your answers. Excuse me, all your typing there. But I wish you would, if you get time, really ask some questions or throw some information to me. Some things you've learned over the years. You've been gardening for many years, and I'm quite sure that there's a ton of things that you know about gardening. But we'll say that for a later time. But thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.